Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new video. My name is Alexa and today it'll be the trailer analysis for episode 16 of Disventure Camp All-Stars. Before this video begins, a few things to note. Background footage is not owned by me, it is owned by Odd Nation Cartoons. As well, this is just my personal opinion / analysis on the trailer. If you have different, that is completely fine. In my videos, I personally do sections to maintain organization and simplicity. The sections for this video are the trailer analysis, who's going next, and the conclusion. Alrighty, without further delay, let's get right into this video.
Don't mind him. He's just moody.
As per usual with these trailer analysis, I'll be going in sequential order. Basically, what event I think will happen first in the episode to the event I think will happen last in the episode. Beginning here with Jake and Allie fighting again. Jake probably fights with Allie, asking her why she flipped, why she did all this, yada yada yada, and probably adds a Hunter comment on top of that. Allie retorts back, and maybe she'll even throw in a Tom comment for the first time. We're expanding on their rivalry, to my annoyance. Anyways, then we get to see Gret smirking. Why would she be doing this? My guess is she's smirking at seeing Jake and Allie argue. Since Jake is with Allie and not with Connor, I don't think she can really talk to Connor alone yet. That's not my take. I don't see why he would individually go up to Gret just yet. Rhea and Alec literally never fight, so, well, yet anyway, I don't think. So that's... Or maybe she's even smirking and reveling in the fact of her own strategy, which, if she is, wonderful. Her strategy was awesome last episode. Anyways, we move on to Trevor and Emily, and what on earth is happening here? First off, how did Emily get her old uniform back? I don't think Crystal would rehire her. I mean, she seemed pretty adamant on her being fired. And how did she even get out here? Wasn't she back in that or something? Like, did she just pull up a plane and just fly out? And isn't Camp Tipiscot remotes? Like, really remote from other places? How on earth did she, like, get a private jet? Is Emily really that rich? Look, however this managed to happen, Trevor and her are talking at the usual restaurant that we got to see in a few episodes beforehand. What they're talking about will probably relate to Derek and Crystal, because when does it ever not? I'm guessing Trevor is discussing with Emily how Derek and Crystal came to be, at least from his perspective, and Emily's listening and thinking of something to do to break them up, to try and help Trevor, but also to get her own revenge on Crystal, because I think her seeing Crystal lose, like, a love story or lose her boyfriend would make her feel satisfied, and also because this entire drama has been related around love, so why wouldn't it not continue that way? We get to see the next scene, seeing Alec trying to start a fire, probably assigned to do so by his campmates and just getting it ready for the day. Rhea would then come up to him, asking him to go on a walk with her, probably to talk some strategy, and Alec reluctantly sort of agrees. We then see them walking in the forest as he turns in shock and annoyance, pulling his hand away, it seems, which, given the next scene we see right after this, what on earth is Rhea doing, y'all? This doesn't feel like it's coming from any genuine feelings for Alec from Rhea, because this isn't, to me, this isn't how she would act, quote unquote, in love. It feels kind of forced, which makes me wonder what on earth is her angle and why is she doing this? Like, it's just really iffy towards me, and I do not think this is gonna be an Rhea win, y'all. This doesn't feel like an Rhea win, at least from how Alec is reacting here, and Rhea doesn't even look sincere, to me anyway, to me. From an Rhea shipper for a while now, I'm kind of scared where this is heading or what on earth is even going on here. It's very iffy to me, it's not, ugh. Anyways, going to Connor and Jake, we get to see Jake happily talking with Connor as he looks to the side sad. Probably sad that Aiden got eliminated, probably sad about the Rhea situation, probably sad about the Alex situation, probably sad about his backstory. Honestly, there's a lot of things that Connor could be sad about that this conversation could continue to lead into. So I'm sort of intrigued to see which one they'll focus on with this one anyway, specifically. We then see Gret grabbing some sticks and heading up to Allie, who is also grabbing some sticks. My guess is they were both assigned to grab some more firewood, or at least sticks, to help the fire that Alec was creating from a previous scene as shown earlier. We then get to see Allie talking happily with Gret, probably excited and prepared to start the challenge of the day. but also ready and prepared to probably beat Jake up. I mean, knowing Allie, that seems what she gets most excited about nowadays. With Connor and Jake, we get to see him behind a bush spying. My guess is that they're actually spying on this specific conversation between Allie and Gret. Now, why would they be doing this? In my theory, I think they're trying to firstly see if Gret is worth trusting. They don't view Gret as trustworthy right now at all. So maybe spying on her and seeing how she plays the game, seeing how she's doing with others, maybe that would give them some intel that they might need or might use to see if she's willing and worth working with come the future. I'm also thinking they're spying on Allie for obvious reasons, to see what Allie's doing, see what her game plan is, see what on earth, and I think Jake would also be really curious to see what on earth Allie is talking about, maybe to use that against her later on, because, I mean, at this point, part of me thinks they hate each other more than Jake and Allie, and that's somehow a feat. Anyways, either they talk too loud and rustle in the bushes a bit as we see Allie very loud in the next scene, and my guess is she managed to catch them, maybe by being a bit observant of her surroundings. Anyways, she goes up to the bush, her and Gret, and they pull back the bush, or rather they see Jake and Connor there spying on them. This makes Allie livid, probably putting it down that you should not spy on people, what on earth are you doing? Why are you doing this, etc., etc. And they more so just don't respond, walk away, or give very vague responses, if anything. This also makes Gret somewhat annoyed, I'd say. I mean, you can see her expression in the screenshot. She's just not happy with this, but she's not going to say much. She'll just let Allie do the talking and cause the drama for her. This, I'm guessing, will be Allie's main motivation for later when her and Jake are fighting. She'll be like, why do you spy on me? You spied on me, blah, 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 blah. Whatever else happens there, because oofies. Then, this next scene also really confuses me. First off, I guess Rhea's always had her alpaca fur coat because, like, it's returned randomly. Congratulations, Rhea. But then we get to see her talking with Connor as he walks away annoyed, which I put this during voting, but Rhea wants Connor gone. So why would she go up to him about the vote? And she has the decency to not be like, Connor, you should self-vote. She's smart enough to not do something like that. So this scene really stumps me because I don't really see why Rhea would go up to Connor. Or maybe Connor just madly walks by her and they accidentally walk by one another in the forest. But even then, why would that be given any type of spotlight? I don't get it, because it looks like Rhea's talking to him. This one confuses me. If you have any personal theories for this specific scene in the comments down below, I would love to hear it, because this one, I cannot figure it out, y'all. This scene shows that Nina is drinking some coffee as Trevor comes into the tent and takes it away from her. Wondering why? My best guess is that he's just refilling it. Probably Nina demanded him to. I wonder where this conversation will lead to, though, because I don't think it can be just that. But what would it, maybe it has something to do with whatever Trevor and Emily were talking about. Maybe Trevor's like, Nina, do you know anything that's going on with Derek and Crystal? Have they seen each other a bit more? Yada, yada, yada. Because at this point, that seems the direction that this would take. I don't see what else Trevor would ask or would talk to her about. I don't know, though. This is intriguing to me because also more Nina is always a win, y'all. Win in my books. Moving on to the next scene. There's all the contestants and Crystal. By the challenges, we get to see what it is. It looks really cool. So basically, what they've got to do, here's my personal theory, is first they've got to run and climb up the cliff, as that is shown in other screenshots that we will see later. After they climb up to the top of the cliff, they need to get bags. The bags are color-coded for each contestant to grab whichever belongs to them, as also shown later in the trailer. After they grab their bag, they need to head on that zip line, as shown in the screenshot, go all the way across, drop the bag off, and then redo that because there are multiple bags as shown in a later screenshot. I think whoever gets their 3 bags there first wins immunity, because I think there's 3 each in the multiples. Yeah, 3 each as shown in the later screenshot. Then we get to see Crystal just chatting a bit, Allie annoyed with the challenge as mentioned, and then Connor and Rhea determined to win it. Obviously, I like the theme challenges more, but it still seems pretty fun. We then get to see all the contestants running to the cliff and getting ready to do so, as we get to see Rhea and Gret running. with Gret passing Rhea, as Rhea is shocked, and that's not gonna fly with Rhea. No, it's not. And then we get to see Rhea grabbing her bags, which are the yellow, and her smirking. I think she's planning on sabotaging Gret as she goes across the zip line. Like, when she gets across, and Rhea does too, she'll sabotage Gret, whether that be by pushing, or whatever else Rhea can do to sabotage, because I feel like she's willing to do anything at this point. Rhea then regains and gets ahead of Gret. Probably this seems like the lead, maybe, as she climbs up the cliff, and as others are also trying to get there, we get to see her starting to kick rocks down, because fun. We then get to see Allie and Jake trying to climb up both, but what I think is going to happen here is Allie takes after Rhea in the sense where she starts to sabotage as well. Allie will kick down Jake. That's what I'm thinking here, as revenge for not only spying, but whatever else Jake does to her at this point. She kicks him off and continues going up, and that's what the confessional also leads to. She's cheering that she managed to do it, and that Jake is suffering, because, I mean, why wouldn't she cheer that Jake is suffering? She hates him more than anything at this point. Alec and Connor then manage to somehow defeat Rhea's rock kicking and get to the top of the cliff, where Alec goes to grab his bag and Connor does the same, all going again on the zipline right afterwards. The following scene shows Allie and Jake fighting. My guess is once Allie got to the bottom of the cliff, after Jake got kicked off by her, they start to fight. Then Allie tries to make it past him, trying to get to the cliff, and once she manages to do so, he runs and blocks her from doing so as she falls back onto the rock. Then he continues to block her, as shown here, probably gets a revenge after he got kicked off the cliff. That's my guess, because that's what I feel like when he does with his hands. That's what that's implying. He's like trying to make her lose, and when fighting, it feels like that he was purposely doing that to make sure she would not make it anywhere near that cliff. Don't know how she'll manage to avoid it, but in any case, if this is what we're going to see in the future, please don't let these two be final two. Please, I beg. And the final thing that we're going to be discussing is Connor looking up into the abyss. This feels like the only challenge scene we do get in the trailer. Connor looks up into the abyss, just wondering about everything. Wondering who he should vote, wondering who he should trust, wondering about how his life's turned out, just everything coming up to this point, because that's just what this feels like. Another powerful Connor scene coming your way is my guess here. Anyways, the trailer analysis is finished. We can now move on to the next section, which is who's going next.
Don't mind him. He's just moody.
Who's going next? I'm going to be starting off with who I personally think is not going to be eliminated, onto who I think will be most likely eliminated. Starting off with Allie, this girl has just started her villain arc. She is in her Ellie and Rhea era, so I do not see her leaving yet. I also don't think strategically others will vote her out yet. Yeah, maybe Jake. But otherwise, you really think Connor's gonna agree to vote off Allie when there's Alec and Rhea here? Yeah, no. Anyways, next up I don't think is going to be Gret. This girl is finally getting some alone focus without Yul. Her strategy is so good too right now, I would say. And also, she has literally no enemies. No one wants to vote Gret. She just deals with the hero. She just deals with Allie. The villains want her vote on their side. No one is gonna vote Gret, realistically. She'd have to go out like a Gabby, and I don't think they need to pull another Gabby elimination, or want to pull another Gabby elimination, after 2 episodes or so. Yeah, it's not happening. Which leaves us with Connor, Alec, Rhea, and Jake. So overall, I do think it's one of the new love triangle, love mess, whatever you want to call it, going home. But the heroes, I think Jake could go more than Connor would, mainly because Connor has the idol. Yes, I do think it's in character if Connor were to play the idol on someone else, but in the end, he still owns that idol, which I would say grants him more safety than Jake without an idol in the end of it all. Leaving Alec and Rhea. Honestly, it's like the flip of a coin to see who would go. I feel like Rhea has a tad bit more plot right now, though. And also, one thing I do want to highlight, Gret is only targeting Alec mainly right now. Remember this. Rhea stood up for Gret. She literally pulled her aside and was like, you better do something about this or I will. Gret, for that reason, will probably leave Rhea more alone than she will with Alec, because even though Alec did stand up for her somewhat in private, that was with Yul. Gret didn't see that, and Gret won't believe a word that Alec will tell her. Therefore, Alec is more done to me than Rhea because of that, in a sense. Plus, Allie's not gonna vote for Rhea right now. Allie views Rhea as a friend, and therefore, she will not touch her in terms of votes. Therefore, Connor and Jake, I do see voting Rhea. That's why I'm keeping her really high, and why I do think she can also go, because, like, they voted her, like, every round at this point. High chance. And plus, with how much Alec has apologized to Connor recently, it's like, I still think Alec could be going more, though, due to Gret. In any case, let's move right on to the conclusion of the video.
Don't mind him. He's just moody.
What are your thoughts on the trailer? Any theories as well? I would love to read in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching today's video and your support. It means the world to me. Alrighty, I hope to see you again on the channel, and goodbye for now!